but we are going to restore common sense, and that's the point.
Well, if Republicans were serious about balancing the budget, then they should put forward a tax package that doesn't explode the deficit. So if we want to have that conversation, we can have it.
Democrats
because
balance the budget
because that's just not where the Republicans are.
You're for higher taxes.
But I think that
you want to continue.
I'm for a tax code that doesn't explode the deficit and actually benefits working people and business, and not just the richest people. Like, by the way,
let the Trump tax cuts expire?
Like Elon Musk, by the way.
We're working people benefit after 4 years of Biden and Harris.
All right, folks, welcome back. So here's the thing. Scott Jennings has just thrown the proverbial gauntlet on CNN, causing quite the uproar, and all we can say is, about time. You know, it's really amazing to watch someone speak a little bit of common sense in a sea of chaos, and that chaos is being stirred by none other than the frantic clutching of liberal ideals that, well, kind of seem out of touch with what people actually care about. Jennings was there facing off against a panel that was frankly very critical of both Elon Musk and former President Trump. You've got Jennings arguing left and right, taking a firm stance against the years of reckless spending we're seeing, with our own eyes, under Democratic leadership. And let's face it, this has been government's dirty little secret for far too long, right? Does it really make sense to criticize Trump and Musk as if they're not calling out the absurdity of it all? I mean, seriously, what's their end game anyway? As we're laying this out, think about it. What does common sense look like to you? Is it another round of failed economic policies, or actually valuing a leader who speaks directly to public concerns? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're aiming to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of February, and your support means the world. Don't miss out on any breaking stories. We've got your back. All right, diving right in, let's break down this heated moment on CNN where Scott Jennings really set off fireworks with his unapologetic take on fiscal responsibility. So here he is, Jennings, standing against a whole panel that seems, I don't know, intent on vilifying Elon Musk and President Trump. And it's really interesting to see how each side argues, right?
That he's not acting, as Scott likes to say, on behalf of the president. He is acting on behalf of himself. And I think people should be very scared about that.
You're terrified that the FBI might have the internet? I mean,
I'm terrified that Elon Musk is putting people in federal agencies to figure out business opportunities for him.
I think
and
it's
that's true,
Scott. This is the richest man in the world. This man,
that's concerning.
And he's like sleeping on the floor of a government office building 7 days a week in order to help this government. The spending is interesting. We're not going to balance the budget based on these spending cuts, although some of this stuff is patently, objectively ridiculous. And when I see Democrats rushing out to defend some of the things that he's cutting, I mean, it makes the Democratic Party sink to a very low level.
Jennings starts by questioning the massive spending that's been sort of rolling out over the past years, especially under the Democrats. It's not just money. We're talking billions. And it's like, what are we doing here, folks? And here comes the panel throwing shade, suggesting that, well, maybe Musk and Trump aren't exactly handling things ethically.
But what I see him actually doing, and the most important thing he's doing, is enforcing the doctrine of common sense. This was the doctrine that Trump laid out in his inaugural address. What is the ideology of the Republican Party right now? It is best described as enforcement of common sense. We have uncommon nonsense on the left, and we have common sense. And when you look at what the government is doing, agency after agency, and spending some of our money, we're not going to balance it on a $79,000 grant here or there. But we are going to restore common sense, and that's the point.
But Jennings isn't just buying it. He's basically saying, look, if we're going to have the debate about taxes and deficits, let's do it seriously.
So Democrats do need everything. Trump is like the 80-20 president. He gets on the right side of all these 80-20 issues. Democrats knee-jerk and take the 20. And then what happens? Today, CBS News poll this morning, Donald Trump sitting at a 53% approval rating, the highest he's ever recorded in that survey. Why? Because Democrats are taking the wrong side of all of these obvious issues, number one. And number two, they're giving him an enormous amount of latitude to move fast and break things, which I heard used in a pejorative fashion. But when you're talking about the government, that's what people want.
Jennings argues that Musk and Trump have simply been pointing out the, absurdity of government excess. And here's where he really gets them. By highlighting how government often acts without a shred of accountability, spending taxpayer money left and right. You could just feel the tension rising, right? Because it's not like Jennings is making stuff up. He's pointing to real-life happenings. And let's pause to consider, how do you handle criticism of such figures while ignoring the glaring issues with current government tactics, right? But no, the panel keeps spinning stories about Musk's wealth, as if somehow being successful is a crime. You have to wonder if they're just deflecting. Now think about it, Jennings went on, not attacking individuals per se, but challenging the practices of letting government oversight slip away unnoticed. He talks about fiscal responsibility being a choice, one authorized by voters, not something cooked up in elite backrooms. And Jennings isn't just throwing out accusations, he's coming with facts and figures, prompting reactions like you'd see water on a hot skillet. He went further, arguing that without addressing the heart of these spending practices, we're running blind into future disasters. Then you've got his points on Musk, highlighting his innovative contributions and how targeting someone for their success, might not be the great approach, especially since Musk has urged government transparency repeatedly. It's like, why attack that proactive attitude? Jennings was trying to redirect the conversation onto common sense spending, but, well, he got interrupted quite a lot. What stood out was his challenge to the panel's unanimous disdain for anything GOP related. It's funny, he noted how they jumped to criticizing Republicans while, kind of glossing over Democrats' downfalls in similar matters. It's frustrating to see, but Jennings seemed to just brush aside the critiques brushed against him, staying focused like a laser on the issue at hand, government inefficiency. And here, he's directly addressing how media often glosses over biased reporting. He talks about idealistic journalism that doesn't mirror everyday concerns, which lead people to support leaders like Trump, who speak candidly about real issues, Continuing on, Jennings points out how taxes and healthcare should benefit, not burden folks. That's where Trump and Musk want reforms headed. The more Jennings talks, the clearer it becomes that his goal is to open eyes, pointing to polls showing dwindling support for Democrats who ignore these aspects. It's clear he believes addressing real concerns could help Republicans showcase sensible solutions that Americans crave. Now picture this. Trump's approval numbers surge, according to CBS News, as crowds rally around his straightforward governance. This isn't by accident. People are tired of broken promises that others have made for years on Capitol Hill. It's refreshing, to be honest, to see a message driven by serving up no-nonsense attitudes, getting things done without excuses. Jennings stands against the idea that Trump's changes are impulsive. Instead, he portrays them as calculated, rebuilding transparency that aligns with everyday citizens' needs. Suddenly, Trump looks less like a rogue and more like a man cracking the establishment's hard shell, right? What Jennings emphasizes are not pie-in-the-sky goals, but attainable results. He ties Musk into this as a visionary capable of bridging innovation with government accountability, one that Democrats oddly villainize despite his emphasis on mutual benefit and civic responsibility. When we talk about fiscal prudence, while Jennings shows this is what Trump champions, realigning failed ideals towards greater efficiency and public service. The irony? Jennings highlights how media twists these initiatives, painting the president as reckless rather than driven by purposeful governance. Jennings also mentioned Trump's dedicated team of advisors, truly like-minded individuals like Tom Homan, working tirelessly to champion causes that benefit society, not just prop up elite pockets. Just imagine if those efforts were objectively reported. The narrative would shift considerably. Closing out, no one can deny Jennings isn't passionate. Through language that demands attention, he calls on citizens, urging them to question biased narratives and recognize when they're being fooled into misplaced distractions. Now, what do you think about Jennings's relentless defense of Trump and Musk? Do you believe he's uncovering truths the rest of the panel fails to acknowledge, or is something else going on here? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below because seriously, your opinion matters.